Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasumi Balachandra.
And I'm Thilina Udayaratna. First up, we take a look at tonight's top stories.
Heavy rain condition continues to prevail. Landslide warnings issued for 5 districts. President informs authorities that necessary financial provisions will be allocated for relief assistance services. The government has decided to pay salaries for all disabled war heroes for life. Solicitor General Dilrukshi Das has been suspended. Sri Lanka is a much safer country in the world, renowned CNN business editor Richard Quest says. UK Supreme Court ruled that Prime Minister Boris Johnson's move to suspend Parliament was unlawful.
Well, on a top local story this evening, the National Building Research Organisation has issued landslide early warnings to several districts. Landslide warnings have been issued to Kaluthara, Kegalle, Galle, Ratnapura and Mathura districts. The Meteorology Department says that the prevailing weather condition is expected to persist till tomorrow night. The statement issued by the Meteorological Department indicated that heavy rains exceeding 200 millimetres will continue to prevail in several areas in the next 24 hours. Heavy rain conditions exceeding 200 millimetres is expected in western, southern, Sabaragamu and central provinces. Also heavy rains 100 millimetres over is expected in the northern, Wayamba, Uva and eastern provinces. Low-lying areas in Galle, Mathura and Hambantota districts have been inundated. According to reports, transportation in Udugama, Baddegama, Alpitiya, Thangalla and Veerakatiya have been hindered and many paddy fields have also been affected. Steps have been taken to close schools in the southern province tomorrow as well. Many buildings at Sri Shilavansha Rame Vihare in Galle have been damaged due to a landslide. Meanwhile, buildings at Sri Sumanarama Vihare in Galle have also been damaged owing to a landslide occurred near the temple. Transportation in the Kamburupitiya Mulatiana road has been hindered due to cutting failures in several areas in the road. Low-lying areas in Kokmadur entry road in the Kokmadur entry road to the expressway have been inundated. Therefore, request has been made to the public to use the Imaduwa interchange instead. Meanwhile, several roads have been flooded due to the overflowing of the Benthara river. A minor flood situation has occurred in Baddegama due to the rise of the water level of the Ging river, and the water level will continue to increase, it seems. According to the Irrigation Department, the water level of the Nilvala river is continuing to decrease. Several roads in Aludgama, Morogolla and Kalua Modara in Kaluthara are still inundated. A sluice gate of the Kakuleganga reservoir was opened today. A minor flood situation has occurred in the Millakanda area with the rise of the water level in the Kalu River. The Valleypenny interchange of the Southern Expressway has been inundated up to 3 feet. Steps have been taken to impose a speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour when travelling on the expressway. The Valleypenny area in the Matugama-Aludgama road has been inundated as well. Meanwhile, a wall in the Kaluthara Bodhiya premises has been collapsed due to the inclement weather condition. The highest rainfall, which exceeded 272 millimeters, occurred in Katunayaka in the past 24 hours. The passengers have been requested to arrive to the airport 3 hours prior to departure as the surrounding roads have been inundated. According to reports, Maha Unupitiya in the Nigambo-Mirigama main road has been flooded up to 2.5 feet. Several areas in Colombo, including Amar Babra Junction, Jintupitiya Junction, Kotahena, George R. Silva Junction in Blue Mandal, Jetavana Road and Baseline Road have been inundated. The National Building Research Organisation has informed the public to be cautious on the landslide early warnings issued for Kalutara, Kegol, Gaul, Ratnapura and Mathura districts. District secretaries have informed the public to evacuate from such areas immediately with the issuance of landslide warnings.
Deputy Director of Disaster Management Centre Pradeep Kodipalli provided a brief count on the prevailing weather situation in the country and measures taken by the government on this regard.
The district secretaries and division secretaries are coping and giving the supervision with the relief measures at the district level, and the district disaster management units being completely deployed in 24/7 basis. So still the rain is expected southern Sabaragamuwa and central and the western area. So the river levels been completely rising so far. So people need to be very vigilant with that particular situation, and the relief measures already been taken, and 117 call center number is completely open, and all these officials been deployed to cope with the particular excessive situation. And there is bad weather situation prevailing in the country, and the water sources are very critical, and the rough water sources been observed, so they need to avoid of using the waters of that particular affected area. And the if any queries, that they can call via 117 call center number.
President Maithripala Sirisena instructed the relevant officials to take swift measures to provide relief assistance for the people affected by the inclement weather conditions. The President also instructed to obtain the assistance of the armed forces in relief operations and evacuations in flood-prone areas. President Maithripala Sirisena directed these instructions for the relevant authorities to provide relief assistance for the affected people during a discussion held at the Presidential Secretariat this morning. The President further said that he will coordinate the allocations of funds required for these operations. Furthermore, the President pointed out the need of managing the relief programs for the public without any hindrances and explained the importance of working strategically with the coordination of all relevant sectors and authorities to face the prevailing conditions. Minister Ranjit Madhum Bandara, President Secretary Uday R. Senaviratna and Secretary of Defence Retired General Shant Kotegoda were present on this occasion.
More than 45,000 people belonging to 11,384 families in Colombo, Kalutara, Gampaha, Gaul and Mathura districts have been affected due to the prevailing weather conditions. According to the Disaster Management Centre, 22 houses have been fully damaged, while 282 have been partially damaged. One death has been reported thus far, and the government has taken swift measures to provide relief assistance for the affected people. More than 3,450 members of 878 families affected from various calamities have been directed to relief assistance centres. A flooding situation had occurred in Badigam and Thavalama with the water level of the Ging River rising. Sri Lankan Navy has taken steps to provide relief assistance for the residents with the prevailing condition in the area. Swift relief assistance services have been initiated for the affected residents in Mathura. Southern Provincial Governor Hemal Gunasekara has instructed the Provincial Secretary to extend the sum of 1 million rupees for each division in the province to provide relief assistance for the affected residents in the province. Kalutara has also been affected from the prevailing heavy rain condition. Necessary relief assistance services have been initiated for the affected residents in the district. Many emergency relief assistance teams, under the instructions of Sri Lanka Navy Commander Vice Admiral Pial De Silva, have been deployed to provide assistance services in the flood-cautioned areas. Meanwhile, police headquarters announced that teams, each consisting of 50 police lifeguard officers, have been deployed to Kalutara, Gaul and Mathura districts. The police have stated that two special emergency hotline numbers 011 2587 229 and 011 245 4576 would be available to inform regarding any emergency situation.
President Maithripala Sirisena handed over the letters of appointment to the members of the Presidential Commission appointed to further investigate the Easter Sunday attacks at the Presidential Secretariat today. The commission is headed by Court of Appeal Judge Janak De Silva. The other members of the commission are Court of Appeal Judge Nishanka Bandula Karnaratna, retired Court of Appeal Judge Nihal Sunil Rajapaksa, retired High Court Judge Bandula Kumara Atapattu, and 2 retired Ministry Secretaries W.M.M. Adhikari and Chandrani Senaratna. The first interim report of the commission is expected to be submitted to the President within a span of 3 months. The final report, which contains the conclusions and recommendations of the investigations, is expected to be submitted within 6 months.
Well, world-renowned CNN international business editor Richard Quest says that Sri Lanka is a much safer country. He pointed out that tourism will play a crucial part of Sri Lanka's economy in the foreseeable future. Richard Quest made these remarks in an exclusive interview with Dhammika Wickremesinghe of the national television.
Excuse me, miss, who dropped this?
No, it's just a penny.
Just a penny? Whether writing your first check or cashing big checks, it all begins with the humble penny. That's the marvel of money. Quest means business.
A media team including CNN international business editor Richard Quest visited the country to produce a special program for the promotion of Sri Lanka tourism. The tour was facilitated and hosted by the Cinnamon Hotels and Resorts. Mr. Richard Quest engaged in an exclusive interview with Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation in Colombo yesterday.
Just tell us about your experience in Sri Lanka.
Well, the last time I was here for all of 20 hours. I arrived at 4 in the morning and I left at midnight. So anything would be better than that. The experience I've had, it really comes down to meeting and meeting the people. Experiencing the warmth, the hospitality, the friendliness, all the things of which you know a great deal about. And understanding how the economy is going to turn round.
After the Easter attacks, so Sri Lanka is down with the tourism. Just tell us about the potential of tourism in Sri Lanka in the future.
There are 3 things you've got to remember. 1, you've got to make the place safe. And people have got to feel safe. And it's not just enough to say it's safe. There has to be evidence that it is safe, which it is. Secondly, you have to start looking at what are you selling? What is the product? What is the momentum? Thirdly, you have to go out and tell people. You have to promise them something that you can deliver. And look, there are a gazillion extremely experienced tourism people advising. I think for the Sri Lankan people, there is just an understanding what happened was truly horrific. But you have to recover and you have to move on. And tourism is going to be a crucial part of Sri Lanka's economy for the foreseeable future. Recovering from the crisis is a 12 to 24-month operation involving marketing, rebalancing, all that sort of stuff. I'm talking about the longer term. And Sri Lanka has 2.3 million visitors at the moment. But you need to be asking yourself now, what number can we handle? And if that number is particular 5 million, 6 million, 10 million, what are we going to do? What's the level of tourism? What's the quality of the tourism that we're going to attract? Sri Lanka is lucky. There are other destinations in this region that are already over-touristed. You are not. You have the chance to make the decisions. The problem is, sir, that there are no easy answers. And anybody who tells you there are, don't buy anything from them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Ministers Lakshman Kiriella and Dr. Rajat Senaratne provided evidence before the Special Presidential Commission appointed to probe fraud and corruption today. The commission was appointed to probe fraud and corruption alleged to have occurred in state institutions during the time period from January 15, 2015 to December 31, 2018. The commission, headed by retired Supreme Court Judge Upali Abekon, is currently in operation at BMICH premises. Minister Dr. Rajat Senaratne arrived to the commission this morning to record a statement. He was summoned to the commission over an alleged irregularity occurred during the formal takeover of the Dr. Neville Fernando Hospital to the state. Minister Lakshman Kiriella was summoned to the commission to record a statement over complaints filed on the new recruitments to the Ministry of Highways. Minister Lakshman Kiriella said that the person who lodged the complaint with the Kandy police station has withdrawn the complaint. He said that a lawyer named I.K. Abhayratna has filed the complaint. However, he said that the lawyer had informed the police that he had not submitted a petition against the minister and his signature has been forged. He said that he arrived to the commission since he was summoned to record a statement. The minister further said that their government provided the freedom for commissions to probe, and the objective of the commission to investigate fraud and corruption should be praised.
Well, the government has taken a decision to pay the salary of all disabled war veterans till life. The Ministry of Finance said that the cabinet approval has been granted for the relevant proposal. Issuing a statement, the Minister of Finance said that all members of the Armed Forces, Police and the Special Task Force who have been disabled due to the war will receive a pension equal to their last salary, even after their retirement. The Ministry of Finance stated that this payment will be continued throughout a veteran's life with effect from today. Accordingly, all disabled war heroes will be paid their monthly salary, including the basic salary and all allowances received at the time of retirement. The basic salary and allowances of disabled army majors is 97,205 rupees. In addition, a service pension of 10,000 rupees and a disability pension of 4,000 rupees is added to the amount. Accordingly, the monthly salary of a disabled major is 111,483 rupees. When retired at the age of 55 as a disabled soldier, he or she would have received a pension of 81,000 rupees. However, after today, a retired disabled veteran will receive a lifelong pension of 111,483 rupees. Minister Mangala Samaravira said that he is content that the government was able to provide this pension to war heroes within the knowledge of the President. Well, in the meantime, Minister Sajid Premadasa says that the country's development plans should be prepared in accordance to the opinions and suggestions flow from grassroots to top brass levels. The minister said that he possesses a new national development plan for the country. While speaking at a ceremony held today, the minister said that a new era will be created after the month of November in which the country's leaders will be humbled. Minister Sajid Premadasa made these remarks while taking part in an event to vest a newly built Dhamma school building at Kuda Bellankadavala, Purana Kudagal Vihare in Tamuttegama, Anuradhapura with the student ship. That project was initiated under the Sisu Daham Sevana program. The new building, which consists of all facilities, has been built at a cost of 4 million rupees. Financial provisions for the project have been allocated through the Central Cultural Fund. The minister also handed over a set of books to the library of the temple.
Secretary General of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, parliamentarian Dasri Jayasekara, says that they believe a political arm is behind the protests carried out by the disabled war heroes demanding for salary increments. While speaking at a media briefing today, the parliamentarian extended his regret on the ongoing protests, though all necessary measures have been taken to fulfill the demands of the disabled war heroes. Secretary General of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, parliamentarian Dasri Jayasekara, said that the President prepared a special program to add 15% of Surakim allowance in addition to the 85% of pension payment for the war veterans. He said that the war veterans are requesting for both pension and the salary together, which is not a common thing for any state institution. However, he said that the President took a decision to make both the payments in praise of the service rendered by the war veterans.
ව්‍යාපාරය තුල අවසානයේ මේ බර එන්නේ තමුන්නාන්සලටම. අපේ මේ රටේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සුම තමයි බිලියන 3.5ක් මාසෙකට මේ රණවිරෝණ වෙනුවෙන් ගෙවන්න තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි මේ අය අපේ රට වෙනුවෙන් විශාල කැපකිරීමක් කරපු අය. ඉතින් ඒ පිළිබඳව හොඳ අදහසක්.
The minister said that he believes a final decision has been taken regarding this issue at the cabinet meeting today. However, the protests carried out by the disabled war heroes in front of the Fort railway station were held today for the 14th consecutive day.
The Court of Appeal has issued an interim injunction today against the summoning of former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa to the Jaffna Magistrate Court. The Jaffna Magistrate Court had summoned the former Defence Secretary on the 27th of September to provide evidence over the disappearance of human rights activists Lalit Kumar Veeraraj and Kugan Muruganandan. Submitting a petition, the former Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa has stated that he is unable to visit the Jaffna Magistrate Court to provide evidence in connection to the case due to security reasons. The petition further stated that the former Defence Secretary is willing to provide evidence at a court situated in another area apart from the North and East regions.
Solicitor General Dilrukshi Das Wickramasinghe has been suspended. According to the coordinator of the Attorney General State Council, Nishara Jayaratna, Secretary to the State Services Commission has informed the Attorney General regarding the suspension orders. The Attorney General has informed the State Services Commission regarding the controversial telephone conversation between the Solicitor General and Chairman of the avant-garde company Nishanka Senadipati yesterday. Accordingly, the Attorney General's department announced that the Solicitor General has been suspended. The Attorney General took measures to relieve Solicitor General Dilrukshi Das Wickramasinghe from her duties yesterday owing to the controversial telephone conversation. Teenage climate change activist Greta Thunberg opened the United Nations Climate Action Summit with an angry condemnation of world leaders for failing to take strong measures to combat climate change. "How dare you?" she told delegates assembled at a UN headquarters in New York yesterday.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
16-year-old climate change activist Greta Thunberg blasted world leaders at the United Nations Monday for failing to take strong measures to combat climate change. Opening the UN Climate Action Summit, a visibly emotional Thunberg condemned older generations for polluting the planet and burdening today's youth as a result.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?
Days after millions of young people took to the streets worldwide to demand emergency action on climate change, leaders gathered at the annual UN General Assembly, aiming to inject fresh momentum into stalling efforts to curb carbon emissions. U.S. President Donald Trump, a climate change denier who has undone every major U.S. regulation aimed at combating climate change, including a planned U.S. withdrawal from the Paris Agreement, was not scheduled to be at the summit, but made a brief appearance in the audience. He did not give remarks, but listened to those given by German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Thunberg has galvanized a new wave of climate change activism through her weekly Fridays for Future school strikes, which she began with her solitary protests outside of the Swedish parliament. The teenager watched steely-faced as Trump entered the UN amid a throng of reporters. Climate change activists were also out in full force in Washington, D.C. Monday, blocking major traffic hubs in an effort to draw attention to the summit and pressure U.S. politicians to take action.
Welcome back, and we continue with more local stories. Today is the 5th day of the Colombo International Book Fair. More than 200,000 people have visited the book fair taking place at the BMICH premises. Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation is the official media sponsor of this year's International Book Fair. Sharifa Tahir from the National Television is bringing a brief report from the book fair premises.
I'm right now at the Colombo International Book Fair 2019, and today happens to be the 5th day of this book fair. It's an international book fair with many stalls, over 400 stalls here at the Sirimawa Bandaranayake Memorial Exhibition Centre. In and around the premises, you get a lot of stalls, and you can certainly pay a visit to the book fair because there are so many other activities happening apart from just books. Because today there's an interesting event happening where you could actually get a summarized version of a story read out to you. So there are so many interesting events happening, and when it comes to a weekend, it's obviously even more extra entertaining because you can also bring your kids over and they have fun activities happening at the BMICH premises itself. And just a quick reminder, this book fair is organized for the 21st consecutive year by the Sri Lanka Book Publishers Association, And apart from that, this will be held until the 29th of September 2019. So for 10 days, 5 days down and a few more to go, do pay a visit, as this is the literary month and we need to be educated.
So we always come here. It's like a yearly hangout thing. We look forward to it a lot.
This is a great opportunity for everyone.
Such amazing books, the knowledge in here.
Some people, if they have no idea to read some books, so if they visit the books, they can find plenty of bookstores.
The new intercity express train service was commissioned from Colombo Fort to Beliatta today. The new intercity express train commenced its first journey with the starting signal flagged by Minister Arjuna Ranatunga and Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Taranjit Singh Sandhu. This is a super luxury S-13 model train imported from India. The new intercity express train service was commissioned after considering the transportation needs of railway passengers travelling daily from Beliatta to Fort. The train service will be commissioned under 2 turns and the new railway schedule has been prepared aiming the train services commissioned from Colombo to north, east and northeast parts.
The Galle District Returning Officer Somaratna Vidhanapatirana says that all relevant preparations have been completed for the Alpetia Pradeshya Sabha polls. While speaking at a media briefing held at the district secretariat, the returning officer said that the election proceedings can be conducted in a peaceful manner. Galle District Returning Officer Somaratna Vidhanapatirana said that Alpetia Pradeshya Sabha polls will be held in according to an order issued by the Supreme Court to him. He said that the date, October 11th, was declared to conduct the polls in accordance to this court order. He said that another fundamental rights petition has been filed today in this regard. Therefore, he added that the state officers will take necessary measures in accordance to the order issued by the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court informed today that the fundamental rights petition filed with the court requesting to issue an interim order to prevent the Alpetia Pradeshya Sabha election from taking place will be taken up for hearing tomorrow. 3 residents of Alpetia area have filed this FR petition. The hearing will be taken up before a 3-member judge bench.
Minister Sajid Premadasa today called on all those who had distanced themselves from the United National Party to reunite and engage in activities to develop the country. This was mentioned in a special statement issued by the minister. Issuing a statement, Mr. Premadasa said he has observed that several individuals who had distanced themselves from the party due to conflicting opinions are hoping to take part in efforts which would be favourable to the country. Disagreements can be resolved through dialogue and are not a reason to sideline themselves, he added in the statement. Accordingly, Minister Premadasa requested all UNP members in local authorities and provincial councils along with party activists to join hands and contribute toward winning the upcoming elections. He also called on former UNP General Secretary Tissa Attanayaka to join his efforts to build the country.
And now to give you a stock update, the All Shares Price Index closed at 5,743.53 points, decreased by 32.94 points, and the S&P SL 20 Index closed at 2,746.92 points, also decreased by 12.83 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. The turnover was over 381 million rupees. Here's a summary of the market details of the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Next up is foreign news.
And that's a wrap on tonight's Rupavahini English News. Join us once again tomorrow. Until then, good night.
Good night.